Going viral is overrated. Today we will talk about the slow build, how patience and determination can bring desired outcomes, and how accepting your circumstances and building on them bring real happiness. I'm Michael Anderson, and this is the Happiness Playbook.
11:05 a.m. You have one unheard message.
Welcome back to the Happiness Playbook, where we talk about everything relating to our happiness. If you're looking for uplifting, family-friendly content that encourages you to be happy regardless of your circumstances, then you have found the right place. If you're looking for foul language, vulgarity, and violence, I'm sure you can find it pretty easily, but you won't find it here. And if you are interested in this kind of content, then consider subscribing. And especially if you would like to spread happiness to the world, please subscribe. That would be so awesome. So today, we're going to be talking about how going viral is overrated and how accepting our circumstances can help us to be more happy. So really want to talk about that slow build, and we will talk about that today. But first, we are going to get into our team huddle. And if you are new to the channel, basically the team huddle is the comment section. It's the place where you get to talk to us, give us your ideas, and we respond to them. All right, today we're going to be starting with comments from the Seeking Persephone episode with Ryann Bailey. I know this one was actually 7 months ago, but there's been a lot of traffic to this episode recently. I mean, look at that, 31,000 views. I can't believe it. I can't believe how many people came to see this. I know that there's a lot of hype around Seeking Persephone right now, especially her new project that Ryann Bailey is working on as well. So there's a lot of people coming our way. But I wanted to take a look at these comments first because we had a lot coming in, and some of it actually relates to today's episode. So that's going to be good. So there were some really awesome comments. You can see I'm obsessed with Ryann Seeking Persephone. I loved the Seeking Persephone series, and I'm impressed the American actors accomplish such a polished English accent. It creates such a reality that drew me in. Yeah, that's a lot of hard work. I actually did some accents recently, and I will be talking about that here soon. Okay, let's see. Well done. Just watched not once, but twice, Seeking Persephone, and you were amazing. Yeah, isn't she? She is so amazing. And by the way, I did end up texting Ryann about the comments, so I did keep true to my word that, hey, if you leave a comment here, then she will let you know how she feels, or not she'll let you know, but I'm not going to promise what she'll do, but she will see them, and I will let her know about that. Okay, let's go down here a little bit. There was all amazing things about the show itself, but I wanted to point to a couple of questions that were down here. Let's see. Oh, actually, this one was from Brazil. I did like this. I became familiar with your work in the series Waiting for Persephone. The actor who co-starred with you in the film Adams strengthened your work as a protagonist, enhancing your career and performance. I wish you much success. Congratulations. My name is Shirley Alves. I am Brazilian. I live in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I love period films like Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice. This was really kind of cool because with Google Translate, we can see these comments. Okay, here's a couple questions to answer. She's from Utah? Well, not necessarily. She does live in Utah. Well, actually, I think she just moved from Utah for the new project that she's doing. I believe she's in LA right now. But yeah, she lived out there for a long time. She's actually from California, from the Sacramento area. So there's some interesting information for you. And then, what is TNT? This was actually really funny. So if you're new to the channel, I haven't actually done a very good job at this on the channel, as talking about the roots of the Happiness Playbook. But TNT refers to Take Note Troop, okay? Take Note Troop started as a small theater organization. It's much larger now. I'm actually running that organization under the board. It's a nonprofit organization, and it is a theater program. So the reason that we brought up TNT so much is that Ryann Bailey, she did Take Note Troop with me. That's how we knew each other, is that we were both involved in this theater program together. So both of us have this acting background. Incredible program. It actually is focused on foundational principles of life that we talk about here. It's focused on play theory. So that's where she got her roots. She was able, that's why we talked about play theory, that's why we talked about Take Note Troop a lot, is because she learned the happiness skills through that program. And our thought, or I guess our ideology, our perspective on acting is that if you are good at life, if you're good at living these principles of happiness, then it helps you to work in a team environment better, and it actually helps you to become a better actor or actress, right? So we don't put the cart before the horse in our program. We have a really strong foundation that helps us to elevate the experience that youth have. So if you actually want to take a play theory class and you're in the area, you live in the Sacramento area, or if you want to come out and try one out, take a look at takenotetroop.org. You can see all of our offerings there, and you can be a part of the program that Ryann Bailey was a part of. Really quick, let's look at the last video that we did. Thank you for all those who have been following. We're getting a little bit of a slow build here, so that's great. So that's what we're talking about today, is the slow build. Happiness, this is from the Wizard's Intern. Happiness is a state of mind. Definitely have learned as I have gotten older that you have to love yourself. Yeah, that's really awesome. There was quite a few people in that episode. I interviewed real people, so go take a look at that if you haven't already. But interviewed people in the wild, strangers I didn't know. Some people I did know a little bit, but mostly people I didn't know. This was a great episode. Fascinating to see everyone's perspective on happiness. And we want to see more of your perspective. So if you want to be featured in the Team Huddle, please take a moment to subscribe. So first of all, you know when the videos are coming out, and leave a comment. We are coming back to you weekly. So it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit of time where we've been separated, and I wanted to talk about that. But we're back, and we're here to help you with your happiness practice. If you want to practice happiness, this is the right place to be. Previously on the Happiness Playbook, you may have seen that we were trying to do a lot of new things. One of those things was actually going into the community, talking to real people, getting a pulse on what other people think about happiness. And for me, it was actually a way for me to, feel connected to you, the community, and also become a better speaker in this space, because happiness is one of the most important topics to me. That's why I am here doing this. I will say, another thought process behind going out to the community was, hey, maybe this will be a way for us to go viral, right? Like, that's what people do online. They get together, they talk to people out on the streets, and they go viral. So if you look at that video, it's got 100 views. That's great. It's great. It's kind of like our normal content, honestly. So I have no problem with it. But I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of that experience. So I've come to realize with the podcast that this is a format that doesn't easily go viral, right? There's other things that I could do. I could be, like handing people money. Not really, I don't have that much money, but I could do things like that, or I could, do some kind of crazy challenge or something like that and go viral. And I don't have any problem with that, being a content format online, that's fine. But I realized that we have a different goal, and being away from the podcast for a little bit, I realized that our goal is to offer you content that's different pace than the rest of the world. And that if you stick with us, that you'll learn skills and knowledge that will help you to have happier outcomes in your life. So that's a slow build, right? It's a community. We're building a community here. And I feel like that's what I'm getting from you guys too. When I look at the comments, when I look at those who are subscribing, I'm finding people that are here for real value. So I appreciate that. And please subscribe, and tell your friends to subscribe as well if you want to spread this happiness, because that's what we're doing right now. It's a little bit of a push right now to help us grow. But once again, this is about the slow build. I want to share an experience. This is the reason why I've been away from the podcast scene for a little bit, and also why my hair is a little bit long, if you can kind of see it. I don't usually grow my hair out long. And now I have to stick with it because my sister's getting married and she likes my hair long. So here we are. So I am a director. We had the opportunity to do a play that was cast entirely with adults. So we usually do youth plays and kids plays. And so we just branched out into community theater, family community theater. And we keep it family friendly, which is really awesome. So I'm at the audition for this, and through the audition we found that nobody wanted to commit to, and we didn't have anyone who was able to step up for the role of boy, which is Peter Pan. So Peter and the Starcatcher is a prequel to Peter Pan, if you didn't know that. Fantastic play, very hilarious. We did a little bit of work to keep it a little extra family friendly for our audience. We didn't have anyone for boy, so who ends up needing to be boy? Well, that's me, hence the hair. My wife, she also auditioned for the play, and she got Molly, who is Wendy's mom in the play. So still think prequel. So we were Peter and Molly, which had a little bit of romantic interest in this play. And tell you what, that was awesome. Not gonna lie, that was great to be with my wife, and she's the best scene partner I've ever had. We just enjoyed the experience of being a romantic interest in this play. And it was her first time doing a play, and people could not tell. I mean, she had a British accent and everything, just like we talked before. So I had to have a Cockney accent. She had an RP, which is like a very, like the British accent most people think of, like the very, very proper British accent, right? So, and I'm up here talking with a Cockney accent, and we're trying to make it work on stage. And I've been a little bit out of practice for a week or two. So we got this role, these lines, and turns out, I didn't know this until the day of the performance, but I had 200 lines to learn. I knew I had a lot, but it was 200 lines to learn. And I knew it was so many scenes. And we had 2 weeks when we got together as a cast to put together this production. So what am I to do? Well, we got to start memorizing. So I had a couple months of memorization. Now I could have waited till the very end. That would have been very difficult to do, but I could have crammed it, right? Like it was a test. But instead I decided I'm going to do a little bit in piece every week. And then eventually it was, I'm going to do a little bit in piece every day as we got closer. So we slow built. Me and my wife, we slow built this progress together. And when we came together, found that a lot of other people had done the same thing. They had just done a little bit every day to get together and do this show. We had 2 weeks to put together the production. And we had people who, not to toot my own horn, but I kind of love the program I'm involved in here. We had people who said that was the best production they'd ever seen. How could we do that in 2 weeks? I kind of like to think about it like you're going on a big hike and you're working your way up the mountain, and you could sprint up the mountain and you could get to the top, and then you'd be like, yeah, I made it. And then you realize I got to go down the mountain, and then I got to hike all the way out, which is going to take a few days, right? And so you use up all your energy right there at the beginning. Sometimes I think we do that in our own lives. For example, I could have used Peter and the Starcatcher in that way. I could have said, well, I've got all these other projects. I'm just going to get those done, or I'm just going to do everything all at once. And I'm just going to try to memorize. And I would not have been able to do this program if I did that. So I'm glad I had this experience because it was able to force me to slow down, and I realized the value of slowly building. So I'm talking about slowly building. I'm talking about patience, determination through the process. And that sounds like accept and build, which is our principle for today. It's principle number 3. It's to accept your circumstances for what they are and to build on them, right? It sounds pretty easy when you think about it, but what do we actually do in our life? What do you do in your life? When you have all the different things, you got to take your kids to soccer, you got to do that project, you got to take that person cookies, you got to clean out the storage, you got to go to work, whatever it is. We tend to just do it all, and then we wear ourselves out, and then we go to bed. And do you feel like you're finding progress in your life? I know for me that progress is a really important part of my happiness. And I feel like accepting and building is how you practice that, how you practice gaining progress in your life. So, Is it important to go viral? Well, I'll leave that up to you, what you think. But I think that we're not used to going viral. Most of us aren't going viral. And that's okay. We want to be loved. We want to be appreciated in our life. We want to have success. We want to have personal growth. And in some ways, we want it to happen now. We want the end result now. So I want to leave this with you. What are some great challenges that you have in your life right now? What are your projects? What's your family looking like? Where do you have all your time? Where is you when you're sitting in bed and you think, I have no time? What's causing that? I want you to look at your schedule and I want you to take things in bite-sized pieces. I want you to allow yourself time to do the things that are most important. Write a list down of priorities. I know I've got mine. I have church, family, and then work can fall after that. When I prioritize, it allows me to accept my circumstance, not just think the grass is always greener on the other side, but accept my circumstance and learn to love the journey. Most of our life is the journey and not the outcome. We spend most of our time on the path and not on the peak. So that's my invitation to you. Find a way to accept and build and create a journey for yourself. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, share this podcast with your friends. We're here every week to give you a practice that can help you to be more happy. Remember that happiness is a skill and not a circumstance, and that skills take practice. We'll see you next week.